I mean, I remember even when our kids did go to school, and you guys maybe can relate to this if your kids are in school, there's going to be hard teachers out there.
Yeah.
There's
like
going to be
hard to work with,
hard to
relate to, or
yes,
hard to
connect with,
learn from,
or ones that you just do not get them, and they don't get you, and it's a long year, right?
That was Mrs. DeMartler in second grade for me.
Why do you remember all your teachers' names? Like, I don't even remember my friends' names, let alone my teachers' names. Greg has this
Mrs.
memory.
Buzzard in first grade was amazing. Like, she was awesome. And then Miss DeMartler was the exact opposite. Like, I cannot.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, honey, we're back. Part 2, raising high agency kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something to keep in mind that every problem you solve for your child is one less opportunity for them to discover what they're capable of.
Yeah, that's good.
Every problem you solve for your child is one less opportunity for them to discover what they're capable of. It is important to actually understand that because otherwise you can almost feel like you're being too harsh of a parent. You know, if you don't package it in a way that, listen, I'm giving them opportunities to discover what they're capable of, that's huge. You know, I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. It goes from how are you managing your chores? How are you working at, honing your craft in a sport? You know, right now I think one of the things that's kind of fun for me to watch is that Bella is going to be doing golf tryouts soon, right? And so she focused so much on tennis all year that she just had to start probably in the last month or so. And she's trying to figure some stuff out with her swing. And she keeps asking, Dad, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? And I'm like, yep, I'm going to help you do this. But she's a little resistant to, just like anybody in a golf swing.
Yeah.
You have a natural way of doing it, and you have to kind of retool it, and you almost have to get worse before you get better. And so she naturally will try to hold on to old stuff. And I just told her, I said, listen, I'm going to teach you how to do this right. You can listen if you want to listen. Don't listen if you don't want to listen. But I'm not going to give you advice, and then you don't take it, and then I'm going to keep giving you advice. Because, you know, you can practice doing it wrong as much as you want.
Sure.
And you can figure that out. And you know what? She's actually been taking it because, again, holding the line. Like, this is I see this as an opportunity for you to discover what you're capable of. You know, will you be willing to go through the discomfort in order to get better? Will you be willing to go backwards to be able to move forward?
Well, and I think some of the power in that is sometimes we have to do things wrong to be able to do it right, right? And when we allow our kids, though, to figure that out, and then we hold the line on how we're going to proceed with them, like then the expectations are there. They know what to expect, right? And so I think you've said it enough times to her. And again, you showed her like whatever, I'm going to say a dozen times on how to do it. It's not like he showed her, he meaning you. You didn't just show her one time and say, okay, I'm not going to do it again. You know, like you showed her like a dozen times. You've taken her golfing. You've worked on the sim with her, the whole 9 yards. And then this last week or so, you're like, okay, I'm showing you one last time. Video it. Do whatever you need to do. Ingrain it in your brain. But after this, I'm going to let you figure this out. And I think there's freedom in that. I think it's freedom in parenting that you don't feel like you're repeating yourself and you're not being heard. And then you get irritated and don't want to help anymore, right? And then there's freedom for her to make a choice. How do I want to behave in this situation?
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, it's good. So, I would say in this episode, the main thing I want to talk about is just, again, continue this conversation of raising problem solvers versus excuse makers.
Yep.
And, you know, if you make it a little bit black and white like that, I think you'll see what you're doing more clearly, you know, where you see there's not an in-between. You're either a problem solver or you're an excuse maker. You're not kind of in the middle somewhere, and you allow yourself so much gray area that then you start really compromising in a lot of ways. And so, you know, the thing is, excuses, they always feel good in the moment, but they quietly steal your child's future, right? And again, you know, I love to repeat what our mission is here. It isn't simply to raise good kids. It's to raise high agency adults who love God, love people, take ownership, solve problems, and make the world better around them. everybody needs to have a mission, you know? And so I would suggest to every parent out there that you have a mission that's in front of you all the time. And so, you know, where are some other opportunities for people, for your kids to actually be able to become excuse makers versus problem solvers?
Yeah, and every kid and every family has to deal with this stuff. So nobody's excused by it. But, you know, everybody has bad coaches once in a while. I mean, our kids have, no matter what we do,
So true.
they have had bad
So
coaches, like unfair political stuff happening.
Yeah.
I mean, every one of our kids, and I'm sure your guys is out there too, have had mean friends. Just friends that are mean. Like they just do mean things. They're not kind. They behave unkind. They say mean things, you know? Or, I mean, I remember even when our kids did go to school, and you guys maybe can relate to this if your kids are in school, there's going to be hard teachers out there.
Yeah.
There's
like
going to be
hard to work with,
hard to
relate to, or
yes,
hard to
connect with,
learn from,
or ones that just you just do not get them, and they don't get you, and it's a long year, right?
That was Mrs. DeMartler in second grade for me.
Why do you remember all your teachers' names? Like I don't even remember my friends' names, let alone my teachers' names. Greg has this
Mrs.
memory.
Buzzard in first grade was amazing. Like she was awesome, and then Miss DeMartler was the exact opposite. Like I
cannot.
I felt like I had one of those teachers in first grade that was just like this. I was excited to go to class because she always made me feel like I was good at everything, and she challenged me, but she was awesome. And then the next year, in second grade, this lady, I felt like I couldn't do anything right, no matter how well I did. It was so interesting, just the different
dynamics.
personalities. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
again,
remember teachers like that.
again though, I remember talking to my parents about this, telling my mom about this a little bit. And the answer was still the same. Like if it was the first grade teacher, Mrs. Buzzard, who was really nice, mom was just kind of like, that's great. You know, I'm glad that you have somebody like that. And second year is like, this other teacher, Mr. Murdoch, she's not good, mom. Like she makes it hard. I know my grades aren't as quite as good and blah, blah, blah. And my mom was kind of like, I don't care who your teacher is. Right.
Good for your mom.
You're going to figure out how to navigate this, and you're going to figure out how to still excel. Right.
Good for your mom.
No situation's perfect. So you're still going to figure out. And I remember because my grades were starting to dip and I was using it as a little bit of an excuse because I didn't like the teacher. I didn't like her style. So then I would kind of work a little less hard and I'd feel like it was justified. And my mom was like, that's not how this works.
Right.
You know, you're not going to always have perfect people in charge of you. You're going to have to figure out how to perform regardless.
That's good.
It was good, you know, and back then at the time when you're in second grade, I'm kind of like, that stinks. It's horrible advice, you know.
It was the best advice.
Looking back, though, it was really good. You know, all of our kids, they always are going to have to deal with losing, you know, games and stuff like that.
Games, yeah.
I mean, it's tough. We're watching Chrissy last year, and she fights her way all the way up until the very last match, where if she wins it, she gets to go to state, right?
Correct.
And she had to fight her butt off, and she had so many great wins against really good opponents, and it comes down to a match tiebreaker, and she loses like 14-12 or something. And you want to talk about? I watched her. Oh man, you want to talk about watching someone feel the sting of a loss? But what do? You know, you got to let her feel
stronger.
it. You got to let her feel it. For something like that big, like a day.
Yeah, and she's good about it, though.
But then after that, okay, what are we going to do about it? What's our next move?
Yep.
And the next move is that we're going to work so hard through the off season that next year there will not be any tiebreakers.
Yes.
There will not be anything that close. Your skill set will improve so much that you'll never be in a position like that again. Like you turn it into an opportunity to be able to excel.
And a positive. I mean, again, everybody's going to lose at a game. Everyone's going to lose at something like that. So, you know, another thing all of our kids have had to deal with is failure and rejection. You know, like just not making it in something. They failed at it. Maybe they didn't do as well in anything. It could have been a tryout. It could have been like even like something they were trying new for themselves. It could be rejection that somebody kind of poked fun at them, made them feel bad for it. I mean, I remember like yesterday when Chrissy made it onto the varsity tennis team.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, her freshman year, and all three girls tried out. Abby and Bella tried out. They didn't try out their freshman year because we actually didn't know there was such a thing as tryouts for varsity. We didn't know how it worked the first year. So all kids tried out the next year. It was Chrissy's freshman year. It was the twins' sophomore year. We didn't even know how tryouts worked. We didn't know the coaches. We didn't know anything. We show up, and honestly, some of the kids had been doing it for some time. It was obvious they were going to make the team. They understood how this whole thing worked. And then there was a good handful of them that were good, but they had to make the cuts. And Chrissy made the team. She gritted it out. She won a spot on the varsity team, and the twins both did not. And they had to deal with rejection.
Yeah.
And it felt a little bit like a failure that their younger sister made it when they didn't. But you know what? Again, they had an opportunity, and they grew through it that next year. They worked really, really hard. And the next year, sure enough, they made the varsity team. And again, it would have been a great opportunity to say, I don't ever want to do this again. I'm done with tennis. I can't believe my younger sister made it, right? That was not the case, because they are high agency kids that recognize, I have a choice in this now. I can go out and change this.
Yeah, and you know that how it ended up working out was so awesome, because I think that, let's say they had made the varsity team, and then the next year, if they had made the varsity team, they would have been happy about that. But because they missed the varsity team that sophomore year, it stung so bad that they worked so hard that they not only made the varsity team, they made the district team. And they not only made the district team, they made the state finals team.
They really worked hard.
But I think that missing the sophomore year was what gave them all that extra desire to be able to get to improve that much.
I agree.
And now this year, they're trying to win a state title themselves,
And
not just their team, which is really cool. I mean, I think all of our kids end up learning eventually that life isn't fair.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like one of those things as a parent.
It stinks.
You almost try to protect your kids.
You do, for as long as you can.
Because, you know, I mean, like as adults, they feel like we deal with life isn't fair on a daily basis. And it gets a little heavy at times. And so that's why, you know, when we watch our 7-year-old or even all of our kids playing pickleball in the driveway, or, you know, the biggest issues that they have sometimes is just getting in, you know, Drew's getting in someone's space too much, and, you know.
Yes, I actually sent you a little reel where there's this, like, I don't know, husband and wife playing, and they're playing together as doubles. And he is jumping in front of her for every single ball and screaming, yes, got it, good one, yeah, out of the way. You know, and I'm like, that is so our son. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? He can't even control himself. He wants to play doubles, but be the single players in the doubles. He doesn't, right? Like, and then at the end, poor Ellie's standing there like, and he's like, good job, we did good today. And she's like, uh-huh.
Totally. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but we all do have to deal with things that are unfair in life. And I think as parents, we try to protect our kids as much as possible, because we know it kind of breaks your spirit when it starts happening. And if you don't know how to process it, then you naturally start reverting backwards. Mm-hmm. You know, you start thinking it's a you thing. You go inward with it. And I mean, like Greg and I have talked about it all the time, even together. And maybe you do as a couple out there, you know, at the end of the night when something just wasn't fair, you know, we have to discuss it, and he can't fix it for me and I can't fix it for him, but you just gotta be like, it just wasn't fair. Like, I don't even know how to process that, because that was so, they chose this over, like, and I think that's when you gotta be there, just like you do for your kids and for each other, and be like, it's not.
So true.
It's not fair.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that we like to teach our kids is, you know, that there's basically 3 different choices in every situation. You know, there's you focusing too much. There's you focusing on things that you can't control. There's having a major focus on things that you possibly can influence but can't necessarily control. And then the third one is things that you absolutely can control. And the reality is, most people, whether they know it or not, they do obsess over the things they can't control. You know, high agency people spend nearly all of their time on the third one. How can I focus on the things that I can control? You know, for an example, it's like, so a coach didn't play you. So what can you control? Can you really control that, not control that? Well, what you can control is you have a good attitude, that you actually up your effort and everything, that you up your preparation in everything, and you come back stronger. So you make it so it's almost like now you're starting to be able to influence the coach, because get so good he can't not play you. Right. That's what you can control.
That's what we teach our kids, is that on those situations where you really cannot, and you know, Drews has been in those situations.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little example, you know, he's a great basketball player. Drews loves basketball. But one of the things is sometimes he's not seen as much, mainly because the coaches have played with lots of kids for a very long time. Mm-hmm. They kind of have a good old boy club around here where they know the kids that have already been on the teams for years, and they kind of play their favorites, give or take, you know? Okay, so what's our options? Number 1, quit and not play the sport that you love. Or number 2, like you said, influence it so much that they have to count Drew Sin and they have to play him. And that's kind of what he's worked on even lately and then what's really good about it is when he is in, to give his all. Don't worry about anything else.
That's right.
To give your all. And I will tell you, he's had some great times. He played summer ball.
Yeah.
And he has had some big wins because he's just gone out with the best attitude.
Yeah, he has. And he's really has kind of proved himself
Yes,
in a lot of ways. Which was really, really cool. And, so it's always a question of what's my next move. So even, one other thing that we have to deal with a lot, even in tennis, which is really interesting, you have to deal with a lot of cheating from opponents.
It is the weirdest thing.
Like, for whatever reason, especially the girls. I don't know why. A lot of these girls, man, they can be harsh and they can be.
I was talking about this the other day. When boys go out and play any sport, they just go out and play. They're just like, whatever. I want to win because I'm the best. I want to be told I'm the best, but the best doesn't do X, Y, Z. You know, and boys don't care if you're friends or not. They're just like, let's go beat this thing, and then at the end, let's shake our hands and move on with life.
Yeah.
Girls are
it's
like,
not really relational.
Not at all. Girls walk out and they're like, ooh, I didn't like her look. Oh, did you see her shoes? Oh, that girl looked like she had an added, she's not going to win today. And like, it's like this emotional mess happens instead of just playing. And then they're like out and they're like, no, that was in by a mile. No, it's not. And I still don't like your shoes.
Bruce and I are watching the game like, when are they going to start?
And they do all this emotional friendshipy thing. And all the boys are just like already on the court beating people. Yeah. Like, and then at the end, boys are really cool with like, hey man, it was good. And girls are just like, mm-hmm.
It's so true. And then watch them argue over a call. Because, the first year our girls were doing this, they were shocked because there were so many kids that would cheat. Like the ball would be out by this far and they would call it in, on their side. And our girls were just like, at first, like, that's not even close. I mean, I don't want to get in an argument here, but this is ridiculous. And so they had to learn how to stand up for themselves.
And we had to teach them how, actually.
And our philosophy in our house has always been, you never give up your character just to win a game.
Yeah.
So you know what? Call it right. Don't call it to your advantage. Just call it right. But also, you have to stand up for yourself. If you know something's right, then you have to say it.
That's
and you have to because otherwise, some of these people will take advantage of you.
Your niceness or naiveness.
And it's kind of an undertaught art is how to actually have character in class, but also hold a boundary and have the courage to do it in the moment when someone else is being
rude about stuff
really
and cheating.
Rude. Yeah.
So we could go on and on about stories of that, but
we gotta
move
jump
on
to the next one. But if this conversation challenged you, we'd like to have you put it into practice. Just comment family anywhere you're watching or listening to us, and we'll send you our Strong Family Blueprint. A lot of principles, systems, conversation we've used to intentionally build a family culture that raises resilient, responsible, high agency kids. And so, we really are interested in all parents out there learning to lead their kids so they can lead their future. So, okay, on to the next one. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.